Hi there, welcome to another session of the Gooner Booth. It's a match reaction. Liverpool 1, Arsenal nil. Let's get into it. Wayne, what was your thoughts on the match?
Yeah, I thought a couple of individual performances first and foremost. Tone were good. I thought obviously Declan Rice in the middle. Times when Super Mendy looked like there's a few times he got caught in certain situations, but I don't think he was overawed by the occasion. Losing Saliba after that many minutes, again, you just without going to Anfield without Saka, without Havertz, without a fully fit Odegaard, and then Saliba goes down. You go for crying out loud. I want to just put special mention for Mosquera, Tone, if I pronounce that right. I think that kid
Yeah.
had just come in and it was like we didn't lose Saliba. Spurs unearthed an absolute gem there, mate, and I think that was. I think he had a very good game. Obviously, you got Gabriel alongside him. Um, there's it was overly cautious. Let's get to the point first and foremost. But I want to put a scenario into your thinking, matey. We had the game controlled, as in Liverpool were not creating too much stuff. The goal was offside, clearly offside. That is the only issue we had. We got undone by a moment of brilliance. We didn't have anything going forward, which is fair enough. Gyökeres was isolated. When you play that kind of way, you're going to be pending a little bit, but it was aimed for control. But the problem with Arteta, when he gets control, is we can control the game, it's finishing it, and we got punished by an absolutely worldly of a free kick. The passage of play leading to it was a bit piss poor in my opinion, and you've conceded it dead straight. But yeah, he's put the ball in the back of the net. But um, what my point I was getting at is that if you set that way up for that amount of time, and that goal they don't score that free kick, you squander chances. It finishes 0-0. I don't think we really had the quality to nick it. By the fact when Eze came on, Eze was quality and showed exactly why Martinelli should be nowhere near starting games for us at top level games. In my opinion, when the guy comes on and does that, that's the reason why you've signed him, Tone. We'll get to Martinelli a little bit later on, but he was just way too conservative today. You can understand it in a sense if you get a result out of it, but he went to Anfield for a draw and to nick a goal. Set pieces weren't working, so I get the frustration, mate. But yeah, as I say, Odegaard weren't fully fit either. I believe, and that's a personal opinion, that game could have been a different game if Saka was fully fit. If you had Havertz to choose from, because I think certain games like that, Gyökeres is a goal scorer. Gyökeres isn't going to be creating goals. He's a goal scorer. There's a few nice layoffs you could see from him. He held the ball up, but at times, he was totally bossed, which you can understand with Van Dijk. You know, if we had our players, I believe that would have been a different game. But you can't have excuses. You have to play with what you've got. I thought Madueke was good. He was an outball at times. Kirkez, he had him on toast in certain sections, but he defended well in the last action. He got his foot in, he got to block him. You just need that added extra thing, Bones. But yeah, it's a tough one. We'd be here and we'd be slightly disappointed, but we'd be happy to walk away with a point if that game plan worked. My point of view, I'm not here to be overly positive. You have to be critical of the manager for being conservative. But I think his hands were tied in the fact I don't think he fully trusted starting Odegaard. I don't think, obviously, with Eze, I think if you had him at Leeds, obviously he might have been, to give him a bit more time, he might have started him. Obviously, he didn't make the Leeds game, and then obviously he doesn't want to chuck him in the cauldron of Anfield. But he come on, and he just shows you, look, you know, I think you've got to look at it and go, look, Martinelli, unless he's an impact sub or unless it's going to be Trossard, but I just don't think he's quite good enough for what we need. Eze, come on and just done stuff, Tone. Yeah, it was a great frustration, mate. It was way too conservative. I know, obviously, you're going to put that your opinion, and I get that. I just think, it's that the problem with Arteta is he's way too conservative and control, control, control. That's all good, and that's you restrict the opposition, but we need to work out. We've got new players now, time. Work out how to get that goal. Do you know what I mean? So I'll pass it on to you, matey, and get your thoughts. I've waffled on for a bit too long. Sorry, guys, just letting me thoughts out. So
For me, the only positive I take from today is sorry, two positives. Eze looked really good. Um, and the second one is it's only game three. It's the only positives I'll take from today.
well, exactly. That's something I didn't
So,
say, and exactly, Tone. Please, that's what needs to be said. Exactly, 100%. It
however,
is only game week 3.
yeah, however, um,
Go on.
you can't. It was predictable today. Firstly, so conservative. We was never we could be there now still playing. We wouldn't score because he didn't. He doesn't
That's
take
the
the
mate. Yeah,
handbrake off.
yeah,
You're sitting there and defense. I was not worried about it. Mascaro coming on. I was like, oh, Saliba's injured. He come on and fair play to the lad. He done a good job back
the whole
there.
back line, Tone. The
Him and
whole back
Gabriel,
line,
Calafiori, Timber, brilliant, right?
solid.
But that was never a problem.
Yeah,
Problem is with this game was when the first 20 minutes, I was like, do you know what? There's holes in that midfield. On the
yeah,
attack, Madueke was Kirkley, sorry, was absolutely crapping his pants when he got
he
the ball
was.
and he was running him, and we didn't see enough of it.
No,
Jokeres was running around like headless chicken, and I
yeah,
and I was sitting there going, why the fuck did we buy a striker if you're not going to use him?
yeah,
If you're not going to use a striker, don't buy him. Don't play him. Don't play. Put I don't know, put Trossard in the number 9 role. If you're not going to play attacking football,
yeah.
you know,
No, I
it
get that,
was
Tone. Yeah, fair point.
it's you had Martinelli, and I know why he played him because he's running back, he's tracking back ability, right?
He's defensive is brilliant, Tone.
You're,
You can't take that away. Yeah,
but then Marino in midfield, I literally see the starting 11. I didn't understand it. The first
mm,
thing in our chat, other supported it. We talk about games with. He literally said I'm confused, and I agreed with him. It was just confusing. He went into that game
yeah,
for a draw. There was no interest in winning, right? And I'm sorry, Arteta's got to take the L today because he went into
100%.
that game so cautious.
Yeah,
He had the handbrake on, and Liverpool weren't that great. I'm sorry, we allowed them to get back into that game. The second
yeah.
half,
Of course we
they
did.
got a rip in by a slop. Saying they were at home. That first half, we should have been 1-0 up at least, 1-0 up. We should have seen that they weren't up
Yeah,
for it. They were shit defensively. Right, this is another thing that's annoyed me. We've spent 300 million and we're bringing a kid on last five
yeah,
minutes.
yeah,
15-year-old, go come on, rescue the game for us.
yeah,
I mean, look, don't get me wrong. Max Darwin is good, brilliant. He's going to be great for the future for us. He's
yeah,
going to be an epic player. But come on,
yeah,
15 minutes, or sorry, 5 minutes to go. You're
yeah.
bringing on a
5 minutes. Yeah,
15-year-old and going, come with me the game. That's not, no, honestly, you just, the whole of today really, there's a cloud over our Twitter at the moment, and it's going to
mm,
be now for a couple of weeks. As I said at the beginning of my, you know, opinion, it's only the only saving grace is it's game match 3 in the Premier League. But then
yeah.
this we had an opportunity, right? I think Liverpool were there for the taking. I really do.
I agree. I
You
agree.
know, they we we just didn't want to put it on them. And the whole from start to finish, the way we were moving the ball around, it was just like, okay, we're not gonna. I think what Arteta's plan was to nick a goal from a corner and then
Yeah,
shut it down. That's what I think his tactics were,
yeah,
and that's bollocks. We're not Stoke City. We're not Stoke, right? We're
yeah,
not a Championship team that rely on set pieces for goals.
yeah.
We've got all these technical players, and we didn't use them. We didn't use them.
Mm,
I get Odegaard was injured, but why won't Wanyeri coming on? Why
yeah,
are you playing Marino? Put Wanyeri in. He's direct.
yeah,
You'll get like one thing I said in my match preview was get them going the other way.
yeah,
Gravenberch had it so easy. He didn't. And if I'm being honest, we'll get to the ratings at the end of this. But
you did, mate. You did. Yeah.
Zubimendi for me, I I literally my worry come to fruition today.
Mm,
The goal, he literally got out muscled. That
yeah,
was my worry. I think he thinks he's got too much time, and you don't in them sort of games. Old
yeah,
Trafford made me realise how difficult he's going to find it.
mm,
Now we've still got Newcastle away coming up. We've got to go away to Chelsea. We've got all these teams that won't give you that space, and I feel like that moment. As soon as they got that free kick, I don't know why us is going to go in because it always happens to us. We purely
I
rely
had I
on
had
the
a bad
draw.
I had a thing as well, saying just sitting there
It
when in the
it
middle
went
of
in
the
that,
goal.
and I literally like, Joe, fair play, good finish. And another thing was Slobber's good free kick, brilliant goal. The guy's playing fucking right back.
Yeah.
Why is Martinelli not burning him?
Tone, on that one, and sorry, I'm going to interject here,
Yeah,
but
go for it.
we discussed it, and you'll agree with me. What happened when he played a 38-year-old Ashley Young last year? He couldn't
Yeah,
burn him. A 38-year-old man. Now, don't get me wrong; he's got the nous Ashley Young, but this is my point with Martinelli. I'm not going to listen. It's not singly Martinelli's issue why we lost. I think the game plan was set up as I've already said. You can't just single-handedly blame it on Martinelli. His defensive work rate is top notch, and I think that's why he carries on playing him. The thing is with it is like when you got someone like Eze, like you said, you got the team's got to be built around a player like that now because Eze takes players on. Martinelli cannot take players on. He's a player that needs to put the ball in the back of the net from
yep.
running into
What?
space, being played in. He's not
Why
going
is
to
it?
get that if he's being asked to defend all the time.
Why is it taking him 70 minutes though to change it?
As I say, mate, I just don't think he wanted to chuck
I I mean, I don't get why though. If I'm being honest
him
with you,
in. And again,
I
it's
feel
overly cautious.
I don't get why
Moreno was
because
an
he's
overly cautious thing.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, listen, yeah, I get that 100%, mate. As I say, it's Martinelli. Martinelli, I said to you, should only play if the captain weren't fit enough to play, and I thought now chuck Eze in. I said to you, obviously put Martinelli on. I mean, it's it's so frustrating because it's so hard to judge a player. But Martinelli has not hit that height he hit them year a couple of years back, and I think it's one of them where you got to look at that position from there and what Eze offered and what Martinelli offered. And there's one bit I want to praise him for, but I just think it shouldn't be a necessity of any game because I think you need to be a player that can do both of that. Martinelli chased back, intercepted, won the ball, played it off to Gabriel, nullified Liverpool. Fair play, yeah. But again, I would say like it's that attacking side of his game that you need to find that player tone. It needs to change. But look, I'm not gonna. It's not a Martinelli today. Personally, I just think in my opinion, I don't think he's good enough to start for a top four, top six team while you're chasing the title. If he's going to come off the bench, I'm more than happy with that. If you need to change him for Gyökeres because we haven't got another striker, I highly doubt we bring someone in anyway. He's done enough, things anyway, sort of like what he's brought in. But Martinelli for me, Tony's an impact sub at best. And it's just finding that balance. Going back to Supermendy, I get that. I mean, I thought Declan Rice was good. He put on some solid blocks. I thought he looked like he was up for it. Poor fucker needs to be wrapped up in cotton wool. He won't an international duty, mate. He'll play 290 minutes.
yeah.
But he was, in my opinion, one of the best players on the park in terms of wanting it. Supermendy is still obviously adjusting. The problem is he can't be left in isolation, tracking back time. Ball when he's facing play, he's got the ball, he's looking up, he sees the pitch. That's his game. Declan Rice is that guy that he could lose the ball, chase it down, and he'll still harry you. He'll want that ball back. He's got the strength to deal with that. That situation where Supermendy failed for the free kick led to the goal is exactly the situation he cannot be left in. So I think that's one thing that needs to be worked on in the training ground, dude. But yeah, I thought just again, this is one of the reasons to start the season. There was talk, and this it's fanciful talk. We're not talking transfer. Reasons why I was of the opinion that you should bring in, say, Rodrigo and Eze, just for an argument's sake, for Trossard and Martinelli. Because I think you can upgrade you upgrade that level, or even if it's not Rodrigo, I was up for bringing in them two in to replace them because I just think that without elevator, but sometimes you have to assess as well the places around the pitch and the players and how Arteta's setting them up. Moreno didn't exactly have a rubbish game, but there were moments
I mean, I thought he
where he
was.
kept losing the ball, and you just
Yeah,
say Marino, and you're like, you know, the thing is with him, and someone pointed it out, and I want to point it out to our viewers and yourself, Tone. And I want to swing it back to you now, mate. He said to give you a chance to have your say, so I can take a breath with my asthma. But I just don't think a midfield that has Declan Rice and Moreno in it works. And someone flagged that up as well. Now I know obviously Moreno was a further advance and he was trying to play the Odegaard role and trying to flick balls onto Gyökeres. I think there needs to be in this 2 week break because I want to make one more point before I pass to you. That it is on Arteta today, and you are right. This is his fault. He's the manager, and I think he's not. He's been again conservative. You can praise with being conservative if you get a win out of it. Sometimes I know you can't help a fantastic free kick, but come up with a game plan, right, to hold them, and then he more than likely thought, right, I'll get Eze on, Erdegaard on, that will change it. It was too late. I would say 50 minutes. Like
yeah,
Martinelli, in fairness, should have gone at half time. Moreno, you could argue as well. You could change both, put Erdegaard and Eze on at half time. You could argue that case today. So it's on Arteta, dude. I want to pass it back to you now, mate. But yeah, it's the team now is looking complete in terms of transfers. A few going out, but I just think you can't in a game like that. It just showed Martinelli. Is just not the answer. Especially if we're playing that way. He's not. You're not going to feed him the ball. That boy's not going to do it, Tom. He's not,
yeah,
feed that boy. He's not his game to take people on defensively. Yeah, so yeah, I'll pass that back to you, mate. But yeah,
yeah. No, I just think it's just frustrating.
mm,
I've I've had a look at some other van cams before jumping on here, and a lot of people are sort of saying, you know, well, they're blaming the manager, but also saying, well, how long's this guy got? How much money are you going to throw at this guy for him
mm,
to get us over the line? And will he get us over the line? That's the question you got to ask.
mm.
Um, I thought today, and I hate saying this, it's same old, just same old shit. We're moaning about the same old things.
I can't
Um,
disagree, mate. Yeah,
but the only thing I'd say is game match three. Yes, it's a big blow, right? It's a big blow in our title hopes because it could come back to bite us. I
mm,
can't see Liverpool losing many games this season.
mm.
They look pretty good to be fair. I thought today they was there for the taking. For being honest with you, when we
I
set
thought, I mean, with them, Tone. I'm sorry to interject, and I'll pass it back to you. But they just again that's what I hate to say it, but that's what champions do. You can
yeah,
play shit, and then you got a player that pulls you out of it, and they've done it all 3 games. Whether they can sustain that tone is another thing.
yeah, well that remains to be seen, right? There's loads of football to still be played. And the only thing I'd
Yeah,
say
yeah, it's 35
is
games.
yeah, it's the first time in a long time that we've actually had fixtures like Anfield, Old Trafford. We've
Mm,
got to go away to St James's Park in a couple of weeks as well.
yeah,
So I think let's take that as a bit of good grace. Um, yeah, look, you know what? It's disappointing, but I am frustrated with the manager. He needs to take the shackles off because we're not going to win the league playing like this.
it's someone. Sorry, Tony, to interject
Gone.
again. I would just want to give you that point as well. You are 100% right. There's been memes coming out with the hair saying this is the manager, and there's handbrake memes, and the handbrake's up.
He's far too
Do what you
cautious.
did in 22, 23, and let that handbrake off when we literally 14, 15 on the bounce, and we lost that to Aston Villa at home, and it handed Man City the title. But we were smashing team. Let the handbrake off, Mikel. That's all we're asking. It's easy to worry, Tone, but just let it off because there's players realise that you sorted it out.
Yeah.
No, this is on him
You can tell, Joe. What you can actually tell from the body language of the
today,
players.
Tony. You can't. I'm Arteta in. I'll support the manager. I thought as well. I thought, what? I thought Eze looked like a man that thought, I'm a far better footballer than Martinelli. I should be on this pitch.
He
You
looked.
know,
If you the camera panned to him on Sky Sports, and you can see that he weren't happy that he went on that pitch, right?
he
And
should have been on.
that's
There's
what
no
look.
argument.
He come on and he looked good. And I feel like he's going to be But then he should have. You can't give the guy 15 minutes. He should have been on a
No,
lot sooner. He's
that
fully
he should
fit.
half time, Tone. Half time.
He should have started him. Sorry, he should have started him.
If you're not
He
going to
had
start him half time,
yeah. He
yeah.
had pre-season. Yeah, pre-season. He was match fit. There's no reason why he shouldn't have been on that left wing today.
Mm,
And I think he done that because he knew Martinelli would trap back and defend. But
yeah.
you know, we we had nothing going forward really. Let's be honest. We
But
relied heavily on the
yeah,
corner.
exactly.
We
It's
know
that
exactly what he
time,
was
isn't it?
doing. But one thing I would say, right, that when has in the box, right, when has wrestling players to the ground become a thing? Because literally every corner we had, Van Dijk and Kanai, all they was doing was rugby tackling our players to the floor. And yeah, Gary Neville going, "Oh, that's great defending." I'm like, when
You're
has that been a thing?
only when it comes to Liverpool, mate. I mean, especially at Anfield, but when it's at Liverpool and Van Dijk and whatever, they can do whatever they want. As you say, I've not seen it because I mean, I thought it was game over when they got their corner. I don't think I see it was like the 96th of minute or something like that. I'd having kids and whatever, matey. I've got to get them ready for bed and what have you. I thought this game over. Having seen that back again, having come down, that Szoboszlai, the ball hits his arm, and VAR check it, barely
Yeah,
check it.
I,
That's
I'd
at the
say
other end,
I'd say yeah.
as you
At the
said.
cop end, ref gives that to Liverpool. So,
It's a
um,
penalty against
but
us.
but then
Simple.
I'm not going to sit here
Yeah,
and say, oh, we should have had a
yeah.
penalty. We should have beat them on the pitch. We should have beat them on the pitch.
I said
We
that. I said that in the preview. I said we had
uh,
to, and again, mate. Don't get me wrong. We did say we knew we were going to mention it once, but again, I think you have to remember they scored a great goal, but it's on us to beat them in the 90 tone.
yeah.
Uh,
I well, I don't think Arteta gets that protection from me. I'm afraid. I don't think he gets they scored a great goal. And no, you should have set us up to.
mm,
We had enough quality on that pitch. I know Saka was out today,
mm.
but Madueke he made me eat my words today. I must admit, I was watching today,
He
going, "Do
was
you know
he
what?
was very good time.
You're proving your worth as a
Yeah,
squad player."
yeah.
Um, but I can't help but think that we could have been a bit different today. Just
Mm.
take the
I
shackles
think
off.
it's I
As
think
soon
it's
as I
food
see
for
that,
thought, tone. I think yeah.
as soon as I see
These
that
two
starting
weeks. Sorry,
11,
mate.
yeah,
Yeah, I know. This 2 weeks, tone. It needs to happen where as you say, like I said to you with Berta, obviously again before prior to all this and talking privately that, and we all agreed in our chat as well privately that you need someone to challenge Arteta. Now one of them coaches have to challenge Arteta, and you have to say and go look, I don't. We know he set up a certain way. A lot of fans are not going to agree with that, and we didn't. I admit as well, I didn't agree with it, but if you turn them, if that happens and it's 0-0, then you go for it and whatever. But I just think for me, of what I've seen of Liverpool and the players we have, I still think that there's a fundamental attacking issue with us because we, in my opinion, should be putting. I said to you in a match preview 2-1 time. I believe we could have scored goals against that Liverpool side. So yeah, I'm with you there. You have to look at that. That's on the manager, and I think he needs to. There needs to be something because the attack for a while, even last season, that attack, it's all good having control, like I said, but there's something fundamentally wrong with the way we attack and our attack. We need to sort that out. Um, let's hope that obviously getting these players and he can work with them. The international break's not going to help because the new players, I mean, Madueke, Eze, they're going to be going away to international break. So he's
yeah,
got to work out with his coaches, and he needs to be challenged because it's right. I can't argue with that. The manager's at fault for that because it's finding that way to get that. The attack is so frustrating. When it clicks, when they're on it, it's great. But then he's obsessed with control, but he can't
yeah,
get
yeah.
that team to it. We can't attack right time. So
No,
it's
I
on him. He's
agree.
got 2 weeks to reflect, matey. So
Yeah, no,
let's
I
see, mate.
agree. Maybe it's a saving grace that Saliba's not going to be going away on international duty.
He's rolled
Uh,
his ankle, so fingers crossed. It's minor, dude.
yeah, if I'm Arsenal, I'm milking that, holding him back.
Yeah. Yeah,
France can fuck off.
definitely, definitely, mate.
um, cool. I think should we get on to the player ratings?
Yeah, definitely, definitely, matey. I'll give it to you because you always hand it to me, so I'm going to return the favour today, mate. And what do you rate David Raya today, mate?
So I'm gonna give him a. I think I'm gonna give him a six, and I think
Yeah,
the reason why I'm giving him a six is because he put us in trouble a few
I know exactly
times
what. Yep,
with his
100%.
outfit with playing from the back.
Yep,
Um, Al Van Dijk doesn't shoot and score that. I don't know. We got away with that in the first half, but yeah, he was a bit shaky at certain times. But
yep,
he's a good goalkeeper. But yeah, his ball play today was a little um, bit on edge today.
yeah,
So yeah, I'd give him a six.
yeah. I agree with that, Bones.
Cool. Left back, Calafiori.
I'd say 6.5. I'm not going to. I don't know if this kind of give us 7 in terms of. I don't think the defence put much wrong. I'm kind of stuck between a 6.5 and a 7 tone. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I'd give him a
I don't.
seven. I
Yeah,
think because
yeah. I
I
don't
think
think.
because
I'm not saying he had a bag. I thought he was good. I
I
thought, in
think the seven's because he Salah didn't have a sniff
fairness,
today.
I thought it was good. Him and Timber were solid sevens. Not at all. No. I told you as well when I said in a preview, I trust Calafiori more, and I think the guy, if he stays fit, Tone, he's going to be good for us. He's going to be like Timber was for us last year. You know, you can see if he gives a run of games, you'll see what this guy's all about. Now,
Yeah,
a bit harsh. I'm sorry, bit harsh, mate. He maybe the bathing of the kids. Maybe change it. I'll say seven. Seven is an agreeable one. Definitely, he didn't have a bad game at all.
cool. Oh yeah, seven. So yeah, we're good on that one. Gabriel.
Again, 7.
Yeah,
I don't think again he put a foot wrong. Gabriel. We all know is a fantastic player. Obviously, when you lose your normal partner, it's not easy. But he's a leader, Tone. Playing his way back in, he's fundamental again to us challenging and trying to win silverware. He's a leader on the pitch, mate, and a leader at the back. So yeah, solid 7 for me, mate. Definitely.
yeah, I agree with that. I thought he was quite. Do you know what I like about him? He doesn't get bullied. You know, like you had Ekatike trying to bully him, and there was one moment where he literally threw him on the floor.
Other than
Um,
the offside goal,
I thought it was
sorry,
great.
he was invisible.
Yeah,
He was struggling against our centre half. I'm going to move on as well, but because I want to say to you that Gabriel was solid. I thought that Mosquera, and I want you to rate him. I thought he was absolutely fantastic. Like I said earlier, what coming
yeah,
at Anfield, you've
yeah.
just we've lost our centre back partner, and this kiddie has come from Valencia, under 21 Spanish kid, and he did not look out of place at all. So I want to pass it on to you, mate. What you think?
Joe, I'm going to give him an eight purely because
I think he was
he
fantastic.
it was just,
You know?
imagine sitting there and Saliba gets injured and Arteta
Yeah,
goes, right,
4 minutes.
4 minutes in, Anfield, tough game, pressure's on, you need
Yeah,
to defend well. So yeah, come on, I liked his confidence in the
phenomenal.
ball as well. There was a few moments where he looked a little bit shaky, where he might have
Yeah,
over what's it, he miscontrolled the ball a little bit when he was stepping forward, but then
yeah.
his recovery was good. He was, nice and strong.
I
Yeah,
think he
I
deserves
can't
it
fault
for
him.
his. I think he deserves it for that. Just coming into Anfield, definitely, he was
Yeah,
fantastic.
can't fault him.
Um, I think as well. I want to give that to. I want to give 7.5 to Timber.
Yeah,
I thought again he was absolutely solid. I think the extra mark for Mosquera is because of the fact coming in and he, as I say, that one moment was just obviously a young kid, but he looked absolutely solid. But Timber, when you got Timber alongside you as well, that helps you a lot. He's a
yeah,
fantastic footballer for me, Tone. Solid. Gakpo was in his pocket and everything. So yeah,
yeah,
we'll give him that if you agree, mate. Yeah,
yeah.
7.5 for Timber. Can
So
we upgrade Gabriel to 7.5? I think we should upgrade Gabriel to 7.5. I think he didn't.
yeah,
That whole defence, Rayo obviously put us in trouble, but I think the whole defence themselves had to do a lot of work. It's obviously an individual error that cost them, but they were fantastic. So I think we should upgrade Gabriel to 7.5, mate.
yeah.
So
Let's do
Timber,
that. That's fine. Yeah,
yeah,
on the right, Madueke.
8.
Yeah,
I want to say that because I think I don't mean it in disrespect to you, Tone. I just think a lot of Arsenal fans that are
no,
wondering why the hell we
yeah. I
signed
was
him.
one of them.
You
I
just
was
saw
one of them.
why. I
Yeah.
think give that kid a lot of his due, and I think he was. We didn't have a lot, and the service we'll get to. Obviously, you already touched on it with Jokeres, sorry, and he worked his socks off, and also as well, you could see he was tracking back as well, and doing that Saka role. So yeah, I think he deserved that rating, mate.
Yeah. No, I agree there. He's making me humble pie at the moment, I think, with
Yeah,
my initial thoughts of him. So there
yeah,
was a moment though in the game where he back passed Raya, and I was like, oh God, here we go. He's gonna have a calamity game.
yeah.
But that was the only thing he done wrong. If I'm being honest with him, I think other than that, he was, Kirk has literally,
He,
um,
he he had him on toast by that final action, like I
yeah,
said, Tone. That if he had, there's a moment where you think he's had a crack and he's got back again. Kirk has
yeah,
defended it well in the last action, not the first action.
yeah,
So again, it's that last bit. But I did think there's some promising signs there, Tone.
yeah. No,
Promising signs,
definitely.
mate.
Moving on
So
to
shall I pass that
Zubimendi.
on to you? I'd say a 6.5.
Yeah,
I know. I would say again. I know you could drop it down a little bit. He was out muscled. There's certain things that he does that I see on the pitch, and I think if you watch him from his football ability, he's more aching for me for like a Fabregas style player of looking ahead, knowing the pitch. It's a tough game again, Tone. I mean, you come to a new club, and I know what you're saying. I get you. It looked at it at Man U, and there was times today. I mean, that free kick. I think that's downgraded him from a 7 to 7.5. I think I've dropped it down for that free kick moment for getting out muscled. He can't be left getting out muscled. He's not that kind of player, Tone. He needs to face play. He's interceptions. He's constantly looking to take the ball
he's
off of the bat. You
he's
know,
he's our holding midfielder, isn't he?
yeah, I think the problem with it is it's how the pivot works. Is he's obviously looking to have one drop because there's times when Declan Rice dropped you'll see him drop deep and he's further forward. So I don't think there's necessarily he's our number six. I think it's obviously with Declan Rice he swaps, but I just think today it what needed to happen was okay. He can't be, he's not going to be strong enough in that kind of way. That's not his game to do that. If he can intercept, he sees the plays are great. Look at his interceptions; he's great at that. Facing
Okay, yeah, we'll move
play,
on.
chasing players down, he's not going to outmuscle them. That should be Declan Rice's.
Okay, yeah, nice segue there. So, what do you think for Rice?
I got to say, I'm going to give him man of the match.
Declan Rice.
Me, for me.
Okay.
I, I'm for me, and obviously, to be fair, if you're looking at it for an overall, I'd say obviously Van Dijk for them, as was solid. Absolutely didn't give Gyökeres a sniff, but I'm an Arsenal fan. So if I'm looking at it for our match ratings, I want to give it. I'm going to give him a solid 8, but I think he elevated. I think for me, he matched obviously if it's close with Madueke and Mosquera. But I just want to think that this is Declan Rice. On sort of like he looked like he was starting to get onto Pompey. He wanted it, Tone. He just needed other players to help him out. But I'll give him my man of the match rating. I thought he was throwing his body on the line in front of it. He'd had several key blocks. So I think, if we watch that game back and see the blocks he made and why he was playing, I think, he's key to that midfield. But there needs to be a dynamic change in terms of how we play. But he's vital for breaking up the play and stuff like that. So yeah, he's my man in the match at 8. 8, a solid 8, a more solid. You know what I mean? I'm not quite 8.5, but I say he's my man in the match out of Madueke and Mosquera today, mate.
Okay. Um, but yeah, I mean, if he was good, but I think he could have done a little bit more going forward. The attack, number 8, you want someone. He was, I think he was leading the press in the first half for Odegaard,
It's the
and I
problem
just
with
think
him.
it's a little bit.
It's such a struggle because people are saying that he's the reason why maybe like Martinelli sort of has struggled in terms of that. I can see that. I just think it's platforming him in the right way that he's a phenomenal football player. But this is what in my opinion, and it's only an opinion, guys, and it's everyone's free to disagree because it's what being a supporter is all about. I think that he should be the deepest line midfielder.
Yeah.
and I think that you should allow Subamendi. I would do a total shift change and have Subamendi on the right, Rice sitting, and have Erdegaard playing from the left as like a left 10, if you know what I mean. Just because I think that Declan Rice plays he's the best football by being the control, But I think that's why he wants to pivot as well, and that's why it's not going to be that way, Tone, because I think he believes that they can cover, like I said. But I think his best game comes from being deep, driving at the midfield. He's not a left eight that's going to be creating tons of chances for players. He breaks play up, he bursts through the midfield. He has to be platformed right. And I think that obviously struggles, makes the left hand side struggle. And that's where I think Eze can help with that as well. But yeah, no, I get what you're saying, mate. I do get what you're saying, but I think he's vital in that midfield. It's just platforming him right at the moment. We've got to find that right balance on the left hand side, Tom.
Yeah, and Marino. What do you think of Marino?
Uh, it's a tough one. I'd say six.
Yeah, it's a standard
He
for me.
lost. It was a bog standard average game. He done what his manager wanted. He helped Gyökeres in the press up top. At times it looked like we were 4-4-2, and he was a support striker. But there was all, and for me, it's different. Certain game states for me, he's a fantastic finisher. The ball. And that's where you need to get him, I think. But I just don't, like someone said, I still don't believe that playing him alongside Rice doesn't look like they're like compatible wholly in the midfield. But he had a totally different role, so he wasn't next to Rice if you
Yeah, okay.
like. But I think it's just an average performance, Tone. Really, I don't. The manager's chucked him in. He didn't play. He didn't play against Leeds, and he's been chucked in at Anfield. He's not really got match fully. He hadn't had a full 90, and he gets chucked in at Anfield. So, but yeah, it wasn't. There was nothing particular, impressive really. Just just an average performance.
What about the left wing? So Martinelli,
5.
5. Yeah, I mean, it's guys,
Um,
4,
got
maybe
again,
a little
again,
bit. Maybe the
Tone.
5 because of defensive work, maybe.
Sorry, matey.
Maybe a 5 because
5.5. Yeah, Sandra. I was just thinking that I want to consider. I'm not. Again, we've specified this, and I'm not going to carry on going on about it.
yeah,
It's we
he
can't keep.
gets credit because
He
of
is
his defensive work.
he's fantastic. He's a fantastic defensive minded player with a great engine. I just think that we need to find that balance. Do you know what I mean, Tone?
Yeah,
And I just don't think the way that Arteta puts him in the team, it's like, but look, I get you want to have strong defensive players, Tone, but your left winger for me, and I'm sure for multiple Gooners out there, your left winger should be like a Sanchez, get on the ball, bang, take the player on, go past him, bang. Eze comes on, 20 minutes, shows you what you want. He's not even, people are saying Eze's not even a left winger. Well, for me, mate, he done more than what the left wing we had on the
good.
pitch did for
Yeah,
60, 70 minutes, Tone. So I feel sorry for him, but I just don't think. I want to put this to you, whether people agree with me. I just think 22-23 was Martinelli's level. He peaked, and he's not going to go any higher than that level that he got, and he's not got any better. He's got worse, and that I think he peaked that year. So yeah, I think 5.5 for the sheer fact that defensive work great, anything else was just poor.
cool.
Offered absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I think going forward he was poor, and I think he was overthinking it a lot as well.
He does it all the time, Tone. Yeah,
So,
he just does it all the time.
and Slobosly must have been, happy that when he sees
Yeah,
starting 11, he only see Martinelli and not Eze.
exactly. And not
So,
Eze, 100%.
because when Eze come on, I don't think he knew what to do with him.
No,
So,
some of the touches and the stuff that he was doing, Tone, just well impressed, mate. Really
yeah.
was.
So, yeah. And then Gyökeres up front.
I'd say the same as Martinelli. What I do that for as well is when your player's isolated, it's not Gyökeres' game, Tone. Gyökeres, as you said before we did this, you might as well have played Trossard. If you're not going to play him in, I want to flag something up as well that someone reminded me prior to the game when I was looking on Twitter as well when they said that there was a chance Martinelli could put Gyökeres in and he didn't. Gyökeres
Yeah,
feeds on moments, Tone.
yeah.
It could be one moment in a game. Give him that chance, he runs into the channel, bang, it's a goal. You're like, shit. You know what I mean? But if you're not going to feed him, so I think there were some good touches. I just think he was isolated. He was coming up against two quality defenders. When they're on their game, mainly Van Dijk, but Canate improves alongside him. It'd improve any player. But I just think he struggled today. But I don't think it's solely his fault. But I think you can't rate him anymore because I think he struggled by a good few touches. And we've got to figure out how to play with him in a game like this because this is a game then I think Havertz would have started if he was fit, and that would have peed a lot of people off. But I think that's why as well people have to look at maybe that's why he played Moreno. Moreno, if he tried to as much as he weren't sort of he's not a striker. He played Moreno in a certain way to win the balls. Gyökeres isn't going to win balls for you, Tony, in the air. He's an on the ground channel runner. Give him the ball. He's come from the left, he'll drift in, bang, like he did against Leeds. He wasn't given any opportunity to do that today. Whether you think, and do you agree? Do you think 5.5 is too harsh for him? Or
I'd say a six for me, just a
yeah,
standard six, because he didn't get the service.
yeah,
Like I
that's
said at the
fair
beginning of the call, we didn't use him. And
point. Yeah,
Arteta
it's a fair
doesn't.
point. Yeah,
I
bump
don't
it,
think
bump it
Arteta
up to a
knows how.
six. No, you can't. That's not me slagging Gyökeres off. I love the geezer. And I think that he's gonna bang in certain situations. I just think we didn't play to his strengths, Tone. So yeah, no, I'll take that back. A bit overly harsh. Six. I agree with, mate. Yeah, you can't
Yeah,
blame a player for that service, and you can't give him a 5.5, and he didn't get any service really. There was some nice certain interchanges with him, but he's not going to get into that. He's not a creator as such. He's a feed me flick. There's a nice flick as well. So I think I was overly harsh with 5.5. I'll readjust my glasses when I'm watching Tone and give it a six is fair. You can't blame
cool.
him for that. You can't give anything less.
And the subs. So we had Eze come on,
Yeah.
to go over him first.
What would be the? Is it too much to give him a 7.5, 8?
I was going to say seven. I mean, because he didn't get. I don't think 15 minutes is not a lot to. He made an
Seven.
impact, but I think seven
He
for me.
he looks so impressive, Tone. Bar the fact, obviously, that run. I think, obviously, I don't know if he's anticipating any touch at Anfield. You shouldn't anticipate touch; just whack it. I
Yeah,
thought he should have hit it, and I was like, he didn't like that. But you think to yourself, again, 15, 20 minutes, he showed what it could do. So I think, that's a solid seven and pushing on with these,
yeah,
gets used to the team, gets play, mate. Give that guy 3, 4 weeks, mate, and we'll be just absolutely just, as if we're not head over heels with him, we'll be.
yeah. Odegaard.
Again, it's again not enough. Again, like you can't be overly harsh with him. I just think an average, I say a six. I think it's just maybe a little bit too much. He didn't have enough time. And if Erdegaard is one of them players that leads the press and needs to get into the game. And I think at Anfield, crowd, crowd are cheering when Saliba goes down after 4 minutes and cheering that Gyökeres has miscontrolled. But you're playing against that. You've got that Anfield crowd tone. So I'd say a six for him. And I don't think that's not a slight on him. I just think it's not long enough to get into the game for him. But again, it could be the shoulder as well. He was a bit, but yeah, I think it's just an average sub appearance there, mate. For six.
Cool. And then we had Max Dowman.
Yeah, again, I would say you can't give the kiddie any lower than a six because you can't expect him to do anything more. Throw a last throw of the dice, or maybe he'll take Kirkes on, or Van Dijk might stick a leg out. I think obviously Kirkes did it, like literally just had like slide tackle on the floor, stopped his pathway. So yeah, I think you can't be any harsher for the kid because I think at 15 years old, barely 16, coming on at Anfield, and your manager's kind of going throw the dice, do something. You can't give him any less than a six time.
Yeah, no, I
I don't
agree
think
with
that's
you.
not. I don't think there's nothing you can. It's a bit too harsh on him, seeing that the fact he didn't have enough time really to get the confidence in the game.
Yeah, I mean, one thing it does show that Arteta is going to be using him this season. in Premier League games and
Mm,
well, pretty much all the games. So
yeah,
fair play, hopefully he. To be fair, I don't think he'll take much out of today. For
yeah,
if we maxed out and he goes, "Do you know what, I went on, I tried, but yeah, it's a lot harder. It's pretty good experience for him as well, playing
yeah.
at Anfield away. Getting them 5 minutes.
That's it, mate. It's get their minutes in the legs, Tone. I still think as well, as much I don't know where you could have put him. I think one year he should have come on as well.
Yeah,
Trossard is a bit average against Leeds when he come on last week, so I understand thinking he's not going to do nothing. But if you could shoe on Wanyeri in there last 10, 15, I think he should have been on as well. I just think that's why as well that the Eze deal has gone through, and why maybe it's fantasy. I mean, 8 players is enough, and he's done fantastic. But if you were to say to yourself, another player to come in to replace a Martinelli, replace a Trossard. I think that's why Eze's come in because I think Wanyeri is still there's certain things I said to you like I think obviously upper body strength. This kid needs to be nurtured into the team. Tone. I think it's not rushed in. League Cup could be my fall against Port Vale. Will be a very good opportunity for the boy. But I just think Anfield away, if you've gone 1-0 down, get him in. It, when they scored that, Tone, I said to myself, 0-0. They scored that free kick, Tone. I thought this game over then.
yeah,
You know
no, I
what I
agree.
mean? And I thought, just if you've got to do it, take Supermendy off, put Erdegaard alongside Rice, and have Wanyeri trying to feed down and see what you can do. What harm would it have done? Anyway, but I think he's being managed. Is what the point. The long and short of it. What I was trying to get to is I think Wanyeri is being managed, and that's why obviously there's just giving him enough time having the Eze in there who can cover 10. Let's get patient with the boy, but I still would have chucked him in because what else? What other option did you have?
Yeah.
There you go, Tony. There you go.
Um. Okay. I think we'll leave it there. It's going to be a miserable evening for most Arsenal supporters,
Yeah,
myself included.
yeah.
But
We got
no,
a moan. We got a moan for 2 weeks now, Tony.
yeah, got a 2 week break. Got the transfer deadline day tomorrow. We're trying to do
Yeah,
a bit of coverage on that for you guys.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I've Nottingham Forest next home game. Let's bounce back quickly and
yeah.
hopefully we can put this behind us. But yeah, thank you for watching. As always, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video. Have a good evening.
Cheers. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.